to awaken. And as you wake up rather slowly. Slowly but surely, you regain consciousness. And as you start coming out of this darkness of your subconscious, of just having the whole time just nothing, you start to slowly have your eyes flicker open and you return to a world of complete darkness. You don't see shit. You are conscious and you feel as you are lying on the ground. The ground feels much harder than it did before. And as you are with your hands grasping around the terrain, it feels like rock, like you're lying on rock, but you don't see anything. It's completely pitch black. You try grasping for your, wrapped up longsword, but you don't find it in its normal spot. And not lying anywhere near you either. What do you do? Also, you feel surprisingly lighter.
Ah, great, I'm naked. Do I actually feel naked? I feel like if I feel as in laying on rocks.
You feel like you're lying on rocks. It is definitely different from before. Because the floor with the
Do I
grass and
wear
the earth.
clothes on me?
Do you what?
Do I feel clothes on me?
You do, yes.
Oh,
You are wearing your clothes. However, you also feel that the familiar weight of your shield that is normally on your belt has also gone and disappeared. No weapon, no shield. And the more you feel around, you also realize no chainmail.
hmm. I take it my hand axe is on with me either.
Nope.
Hmm. But I do have the cloak.
You do have your cloak.
Alright. I will. Does whistling require a skill check?
Unless you're in some sort of situation in which it would be hard to whistle, like, I don't know, you're underwater or something, it would. But in the current situation, I don't see why it would require. What are you whistling?
Just kind of whistling, like nonchalantly.
Okay. Um, you whistle. There doesn't appear to be an echo or a response. Um, what are you trying to determine with your whistling?
Nothing really. Hmm. I will try and stand up
Mm-hmm.
and basically keep the cloak on me completely. Uh, do you have any of the items on me in the cloak and on my clothes?
As you go through, the place where you normally stack all your stuff, I'm not sure if you have technically a backpack, but I'll just assume
I
for the
do,
moment.
but it's not with me, so I just have some stuff like on pockets and stuff,
All right.
like my pipe, tobacco.
As you go through your pockets, you notice that, thank God, they didn't take your pipe. You have your
Hmm.
pipe and your tobacco. You will also find other items that aren't specifically in any way related to combat. If there's any item you have specifically in mind, just ask and I'll be able to tell you if you have it or not.
All right. Uh,
By the way, you're still very much hurt. You're currently on one hit point.
yeah, I figured as much.
You're standing. It's a bit disorienting because you see absolutely nothing.
Hmm. Basically, the items that Saban has on his self should be the ones that are currently on his item list,
Mm-hmm.
listed as black. The
Okay,
grey out stuff is in the backpack.
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll just tell you what you don't have.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't have the sack of gold with you that you used to have. You know, that big
Yeah.
old sack, because it has to be rather big considering the amount you have with
Well,
yourself.
I did say that Saban has some little bags. A lot of it is in. Uh, is there a handout for that, or is it listed in the backpack? Because at some point, I think I wrote it in some of my character notes that there's like 1,000 gold in my backpack, and the rest is on the person.
Okay, let me just check.
Bio, additional,
Roll me
treasure.
1d4. Alright. As you try and feel around, the one with the 1,000 gold is definitely. However, you notice that you still have about, you would say, 250 gold or so on you in the different
All right,
small versatile packs on your belt.
all right.
They did seem to have found some of them, but not all of them. Your silver and copper is completely untouched.
All
Not
right.
because it was well hidden, it just seems like the person who did it couldn't have been bothered.
Yeah.
Again, it is very disorientating, checking all of this stuff while standing in this completely pitch black room, or wherever it is that you are. Looking up, you do notice that you cannot see any sign of the sky. There isn't any breeze or anything either, so you're assuming you are in a room.
Hmm. All right. I'll light up my pipe and see what I see when I start using the
As you light up
ignition.
one of your matches, um, it's a very faint light. One that isn't nearly enough to light up all of the room or all of your surroundings. But it is barely enough for you to make out that no less than 7 feet away from you, Rika is lying on the floor. As you light your pipe, you see her lying there. You can't make out much more. You don't even see any walls. The light of the match simply doesn't illuminate as much.
All right. I keep up the whistle and walk over to where I think I saw Riku.
All right,
Carefully kind of feeling the ground with my feet and trying to direct the tobacco mouth to give a little hint of light.
all right. You see very clearly Rika lying on the ground there.
All right. Well, as I feel her at the end of the leg, just kind of shake her with it.
All right,
And if there is no response,
Rika, you wake up. You come to the same site as Saban did, except that Saban is standing over you with a lit pipe, which is barely enough to illuminate his face.
Oh, hi. Shit.
so what happened?
I have no idea.
Can you see a bit better where we are, or could you come up with some kind of light?
Well, I don't actually have like a light spell. Um, uh,
Can't keep up the fire in your hand?
no, that's not really how it works. Uh, uh, so
So,
all
out
my
character,
things
you
have also
don't
been
have.
taken.
Yeah.
Right. Then, okay, so I don't have my. Do I have my backpack?
You have, it appears like most of your belongings are on you.
Okay, so I should have a torch in my
You
backpack.
do.
Great. Then I'll light that up. Well, I'll take it out and I'll light
But
that up.
as you go through your backpack, you notice that things are not stashed in there the way you last stashed them there. Somebody appears to have definitely gone through it. And it also appears to be a bit lighter.
Oh, motherfuckers.
So, you turn on a torch?
Yep.
Okay. As you hold the torch to Saban's pipe, it blazes.
No, I just use prestidigitation.
Okay, fair
Don't
enough.
worry about it.
If you want to be boring about it.
Yes, I want to be boring about it.
If you don't want to
It's
burn
not
off
boring.
Saban's eyebrows.
It's not boring. It's just I speak a word, snap my fingers, and boom, there's fire.
Okay.
It's not boring.
Okay. As you turn off the light, suddenly your eyes have a little flash on them, as they are not accustomed to the brightness currently produced by it. But after that, you slowly take in your surroundings. And you also notice that on the floor with you is also Irene lying there, unconscious. And similar to Saban, she too seems to have been stripped of her armor and also does not appear to be having any weapon. Otherwise, it appears that currently you are in some sort of cave of sorts. There's stone everywhere, and you're in some sort of cavey room that goes sort of roundly around you. It is about 30 by 30 feet big. So, not particularly big, but not particularly small either. The interesting thing, though, is that there appears to be writing on the walls. Not just writing, something in the sense of runic. There's even imagery all over the walls.
Do you think you might know what that is?
The other thing is, though, that you do not currently see any exit. It appears you're completely buried in rock.
So the question is, the writing, is it Elven, Draconic, Undercommon, or Abyssal?
Yeah, I'm currently looking at your language proficiencies.
Because it's probably not common. You know quite a few.
It is, as a matter of fact, not common. And as you look at them, you do get a bit of a sense of it might be partly elven, but not completely. It has some similarities to elven script, but it's not quite elven.
Interesting.
Spawn proceeds to try and wake up Irene.
All right. You accomplished this easily enough by just blowing some smoke in her face. Irene flies open. What? Where am I? Huh?
Hoping you'd know.
What is... What?
You seem to be surrounded by rock.
She seems to be getting up.
Rita's gonna light her own pipe.
Where are the others? And where is my armor?
No idea.
What happened? Where are we? What is this?
What's the last thing you remember?
Well, we were attacked by the wolves, and you all got pretty badly hurt. I was actually patching you up just then. The other two decided that we should probably, sit down and rest. Septimus was also there, so we created a fire where we rested. You two were tucked out and just sort of resting. And well, we are just basically waiting there for you guys to recover. And I don't remember.
Could have been sleeping spells.
My head hurts.
Oh, okay, they're not sleeping spells.
How did we get here?
That is the question. I'm gonna see if I can try to decipher the script on the walls.
All right. Let's see. What do you think would be an appropriate skill check for that?
Um, History, maybe?
Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna go with Arcana. Actually,
Sure.
roll me Arcana. Yeah, roll me Arcana and see what you can figure out here. Um, honestly, it's very complicated. You do have a you have an advantage here because you know the Elven language. So you know the script that is based on. And you try to make out some things, and what you get from this is that this is some sort of place of worship for some sort of deity. In fact, at some point you see a small depiction of what you expect to be a deity. It is a woman that looks somewhat elvish, but is lacking in the ear department that is common for elves. She has a very dark complexion, almost like a drow. And the most interesting thing is that she has a bunch of antlers on top of her head.
Hmm. So it's not undercommon either.
No, it is not.
Hmm.
Pretty sure Saban doesn't recognize the writing either.
I'll just check yours.
I'm pretty
Your.
sure I have pretty much the opposite languages.
Oh crap! You actually have quite a few languages, but yeah, none of those are the one we're looking for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
How
Dwarvish
about
is very much
pictures?
the opposite of Elven.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, if it's wise enough, someone might be combining Dwarvish and Elven together. Would make for a
What do
good
we do
game
now?
language.
That is the question.
What do the pictures look like? If there's also some pictures.
Um, let's see the pictures. Right. For example, well, one of the most notable of the pictures, which is also the biggest one there is the one I just described to Rika, the one of the woman.
Hmm.
Other than that, there seems to also be some depictions of water flowing, something like a river or a stream. And then there's also a picture of what appears to be. Fuck it, a goat. There's a picture of a goat.
A goat.
Yes.
How is the goat depicted?
Is depicted mostly in a silhouette.
Like standing up or just, a goat?
No, no, just a goat, the animal.
Interesting. Maybe some kind of druidic. Hmm. Something to do with
Oh, should probably mention this before.
something.
As you're looking through all of this, you also do notice that there's some stuff in place here other than just that writing. For example, there are what appears to be two candle holders sitting in front of the wall with most of the writing on top. Most of them burned down. There aren't any candles inside. And what appears to be some sort of plate with what is at this point unrecognizably rotten meat, something.
Hmm.
How much rotten? How old is the meat?
Roll me a medicine or survival. While it does look quite old, you actually determine that this is probably not older than a week.
Hmm. Meat may be about a week old.
Saban, what do you do while Rika is studying the wall writing?
Honestly, I'm wondering if I should take like a sit down to just think about it for like an hour or so.
Okay. Um.
Basically, a long short rest.
Okay. So you want to do a short rest? Rika, you can do the same thing as studying the whole thing is not that, uh, not that exhausting. So if you want, you can roll your dice to regain health during the short rest.
I will roll two.
Yeah, same.
Do keep in mind you only apply your modifier once. So you actually regain 1 hit point more than it says there, Saban.
Yeah.
And Rika regains 2 hit points less.
Yep. Hmm. Curious.
Yeah. Once Saban has rested up, kind of try to look around with the torchlight, see if there's anything to see.
All right.
If there's nothing, just go along the walls and
Is anything specific you're trying to check out, or is this anything unusual?
kind of poke at it, see if there's anything there. Any part that is either sounds hollow or somehow sounds
All
off.
right. Roll me investigation. And we have a 12. Okay. With a 12, as you look around, you actually notice that almost opposite of the place of where the writing is on the wall, you notice that the rock looks a bit different. In fact, it's almost like it would have naturally led somewhere. As you look around a bit more, it looks like there used to be some sort of entrance here, but now there's rocks in front of it. It's also a bit hard to notice because the rock looks a bit samey, and you could have just mistaken this for just another natural part of the wall, but it actually looks a bit more like this caved in, or somehow else a big rock got in front of this. This looks like it would have naturally been a way out, but right now it appears to be full with rock.
Is it loose
Hmm.
rocks?
To be more specific, actually, it's not like multiple small rocks, but rather it is just wall.
Hmm. Damn.
Weirdly so, even.
Push.
Yeah, how big of a rock would it be?
What do you mean?
Like size wise? Bigger
You
than the
don't
bone,
know.
same size.
You only see wall. You don't even see like a spot of like anything behind it. You just see like this what kind of looks like an entrance and then wall behind it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So it is bigger than Saban then.
The only way you actually notice that it is a rock is because on the floor it looks like it has been put there, like it is standing on the floor of sorts.
So the size of the entrance is bigger or smaller than Saban?
It is bigger than Saban,
Okay, so the
quite
rock is
easily.
likely bigger. Yeah, so the rock is likely bigger than Saban.
Actually, now I think about it, Saban is quite big, so it is. It's not that much bigger than Saban, but it is still quite a bit bigger.
Alright.
In any case, yes, the rock would be bigger than Saban.
Hmm. Interesting.
So what do you do?
It's like a flat rock. Like there's nothing. Uh, there's no holes peek through, like in the
No, it
corners or
doesn't
anything.
appear like it. It is quite
Mm.
big. As you sort of like look around the edges to see if there's anywhere that you could get a good look in, the best you see is like some holes, but it's complete dark behind it. So it's
Mm.
quite possible that maybe there is something to peek through, but it's just the other side is pitch black as well.
Mm. All right, so we'll go back to Irene and Riku.
Rika, what are you doing? The investigation seems to lead to no conclusive end.
Well, hmm. She's gonna jot down what she can and make sketches of the figures.
All right, it's not hard to do since there is already a pretty good sketch of it. There's some very key features that you're capable of doing. Like some key things you're able to get from the picture is that the figure seems to be female, antlers, uh, black, I mean, dark skinned, and yeah, kind of elven looking.
So facial structure is elven, but it's
Oh, ears.
human-like ears, or just no ears.
And to be honest, you don't really see the ears specifically in the depiction because the elven figure has long hair. You
Hmm.
don't really see the ears at all, but you know with elven ears they would have definitely shown up.
Hmm.
What do you think it all means?
I have no idea.
What a woman goat. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's basically it so far. Water woman goat.
Running water. If it is a river.
I mean, it's obviously some sort of deity.
Yeah, and I guess somebody has bring some sort of sacrificial stuff for it. She looks at the rotten meat.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what we are.
Wait, you mean we're supposed to be sacrificed to something?
I
I
mean,
know.
at least for me, I usually wouldn't put my prisoners in the same place where I would keep a sacrificial altar unless I plan to sacrifice them.
So did they just forget to kill us, or is something else supposed to kill us?
I don't know. I think I did find an entrance to here, though. It's a really big rock in the way, though.
Hmm.
Do we want to try to keep it hidden that we are up, or should we try and see if there's anyone on the other side of it?
Maybe. We could try. I'd say it's worth trying at least.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, if you can figure out anything about the wall, that would be swell. Gonna try and see if there's anyone on the other side to hear us. Saban will pick up a rock and head back to the entrance.
Okay. What are you trying to do here?
Well, considering how big the rock is, I'm not too sure how well.
Come again?
Considering how big the rock is, I'm not sure if I can really knock on it. So the rock is supposed to help with that. I will just beat the rock with the rock.
So wait, you want to beat on the rock with a rock? Is that it?
Yeah, make a sound.
Oh, okay, to create sound. Okay, for a moment I thought like you were trying to destroy the rock with a rock. With a
Well, it
smaller
depends
rock.
on the hardness of the rock that's placed in front of us,
I mean,
and the
yeah.
hardness
It's
of the
made
rock
out of
in
paper
front of us.
mache! Who knew?
Well, I mean, there's a
There are
difference
certain
because
types
if
It's
of
it's
just a
rocks.
stage
sandstone,
prop.
well, if
Yeah.
it's sandstone versus granite, like there's a pretty big difference.
Okay, so you are just trying to create a loud sound to perhaps somehow, create sound behind the barrier to make yourself heard.
Yeah.
How long are you going to do that?
I got nothing, so I guess I could do it for a minute.
Okay, a minute. Um, Rika, what are you up to during that time?
So, I mean, I really want to find out what this says.
Actually, before we continue on with you, Saban, I want you to make me. What would be a good check to see how loud you can make the sound? Athletics?
Athletics, so yeah.
Yeah, roll me in athletics just to see how loud the sound is.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter, no math. Well, unless it would be a pure strength check. That's the only thing that technically difference.
Okay, you make a somewhat satisfying noise, some satisfying sound. Back to you, Rika.
Yep, still trying to decipher,
Okay.
anything.
I'm gonna give you another Arcana roll, however, the DC is going to go only up the more you try.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I do enjoy the fact that Rika and Saban are as knowledgeable in Arcana.
Hmm?
Rika and Saban are as knowledgeable in Arcana as each other.
Huh, who knew?
Well, it came natural. She's
Yeah.
not necessarily smart.
Yeah, I mean, she did go to school about it though.
Yeah, but she
Sure,
was more of the
but
party-going student,
but
let's
no,
say. The
are you,
Monic ritual
are you
student.
sure
Yeah.
that she actually made her tests and such?
At some point, you're going to actually visit that school, and they go like, "Oh, so this is where Rika is." Say, did you say Rika? One of the teachers goes, "We do not
One
speak her
yes.
name here. We
It's the
still
student
find
that
the
tried.
bodies. The bodies."
She's the student that tried to summon a devil to get through her courses. Oh.
They literally invent a new rule because of Rika, which is like devil worship is not an acceptable way of passing exams. Anyone who's found out to have cheated by making a deal with a devil is automatically fails the test. In any case, Rika, yes, as you try to decipher more of the wall, um, you really don't get much more except that this this place is not just a place of worship, but rather it is more than that. There appears to be something more to it than just straight up worshipping. This place is
Hmm.
somehow more important to this deity. You're not quite sure in which way, like if it is some sort of blessed grounds or something like that, but it is not just straight up somebody came in and said, "Yep, I'm going to worship this deity now." It is something more than that.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I have to state the obvious, but you rolled an 8.
Well,
Just wanted to confirm your suspicions.
yeah, I don't know.
So, yes, sadly, you're not getting much further. The text itself is still quite a mystery to you, and to be honest, it is quite hard to identify. It's almost like a completely different language, like one that might not even really exist. The interesting part is that you do see some arcane symbols here and there. You're not quite certain what they mean, given you don't understand the context. Whatever the case, you do understand that this is a place that somehow has a connection to this deity, and it is of somewhat arcane importance.
Interesting.
Also, it doesn't really help that while you're trying to figure this out, back in the background you hear perpetually against the stone wall. It kind of screws up a bit with your concentration here and there. But
Jeez.
um, as you hear all of this, Rika, suddenly you have this sort of feeling like, oh, is it about to rain? You felt like something dropped on you. It sort of instantly you hold out your hand.
I'm gonna look up.
As you look up, yep, just on your forehead, another drop.
Okay. Is there like a stalactite or stalagmite, or is it just the top of the cavern?
You look up, and honestly, the flame of the torch doesn't quite reach up all the way. So quite a bit of the ceiling is darkness. And you just see, like, on certain places, you see through the light illuminated a string of a few simple droplets dropping down.
Hmm.
So 40 feet isn't quite enough to reach the ceiling. How much
Is it
can
really 40
does
feet? I think isn't it like 20 feet of bright light and
Yep, and then
20
did
feet?
my traditional 20, so
Okay.
technically 40 feet on
Okay,
top
in that
of
case, I'm
dim
gonna
light.
tell you,
I
it
was
does
basically gonna.
actually reach some of the ceiling, but actually not all of it.
60 feet of dark vision.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I always forget about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
somehow.
That's what I was
Well,
wondering. Like,
Screw it.
that's why I mentioned the distance to the torch. Like,
Sorry.
if it's only 40 feet to barely reach
Never
the top, no
mind,
problem.
Rika. You see the bloody ceiling. I apologize. I always forget you can bloody see in the dark. In fact, why do you even bother with the bloody light? If you could have just seen, you need to remind me.
Saban.
Damn it! You need to remind me. In any case, you see the ceiling. It is a rocky ceiling, and you see how some water sort of flows down. You know, trickles down from the ceiling. It sort of gathers itself on certain places until there drops and they drop down.
Question is, where does the water come from? That's the real question. I'm gonna go around and see if I
Maybe
can.
it has something to do with the fountain on the picture or something.
I'm gonna go to the fountain and see if there's any kind of, you know,
No, I don't. Please explain.
if there's anything I can interact with on the fountain.
Yes, you do look around to see if there's any sort of like interface that you could utilize to activate something here. But as you sort of like go over the image of the fountain, you notice that no, this just appears to have been really drawn onto the wall. It's rather maybe more like carved, perhaps. Carved drawn. But in any case, there doesn't appear to be any place where you can sort of interface with anything. You try sort of tracing the wave, sort of length of it with your finger, but nothing happens.
Interesting.
I'm gonna, yeah, okay. You spent quite a while looking at it, so I'm just gonna tell you that you feel like you're onto something here.
Okay, I'm gonna. So the water, it collects in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have anything to do with the, like, does it look like where the fountain is, there's more water,
I'm
or
gonna say, by this time, like more than 1 minute has passed, so I gotta go back to spawn. Are you still knocking on that wall?
No.
Okay. Back to Rika. You're free to concentrate. Sorry, go on with your thought process.
is there more water like around the fountain, like of course on the ceiling, but around the fountain, or is it like
You mean
more
on the
spread
side of
out?
the wall where the carving of the...
Yes.
I see where you're going with this. Not really. There appears to be multiple trickles of it, and they do not appear to be in any specific pattern or any specific way. Um, roll me an uh, perception or investigation.
Okay.
Okay, damn,
Hey,
yes, okay.
finally.
Finally, someone who rolls well. I thought you'd be stuck in here for quite a while. Um, so,
Well,
as you do look up, you notice that there doesn't appear to be a specific way in which the droplets are positioned. However, you do notice that the water seems to be coming from one spot in particular more so than another. From that, you determine that there must be some sort of water source up there somewhere, and specifically that it is must be somewhere positioned probably over you or somewhat to the side of you. You think it's probably directly over you. There must be some sort of water source. That's simply the best way that you can make sense of this. However, this isn't the only thing you notice because you rock perception. So that means you're using all your senses, and you listen. You take the time to listen, and you hear the water. You hear the rushing of water. You believe some sort of river or a stream or something. This isn't like just a river. This isn't like a lake or any just stationary place. No, this is flowing. It is going. You hear the rush of water, and as you look, you see on one specific part, you notice that suddenly a small burst of water comes off the side, close to where the wall is with writing, and it trickles down the wall and falls sort of in a puddle to the floor, puddle of water. You realize something. There, there's actually another part that looks oddly weird close by to the wall. A part of the wall that looks a bit weird. And as you look closer, you actually make out that this does not appear to be normal rock either. This seems more manufactured. Although you're not quite sure that's the right word because it still looks very closely like rock, but something about it is a bit odd. Like it is just a bit too purposefully placed there. It still has the normal formations of rock, so either somebody tried really hard to make it look like rock, trying to sort of hide it, or this was somehow naturally created with the rock. You're not quite sure. Either way, there's a place of the wall when there's nothing there specifically, but it's a bit too rounded. It almost looks like a doorway. It is really hard to see because it is looking so much more like a rock. But if you look very carefully, you can see like a bit of a rim around it that looks almost like a doorway.
I'm gonna try to push it open.
You try to push it. I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. You fail. Nothing happens. It still feels like actual rock.
Hmm. Is there something specific, like some specific text on the
Okay, I'm gonna
on
make you a roll Arcana again. And I'm gonna equal out the DC because you are onto this right track of mind. So if you manage, go ahead. Also, this isn't happening nearly as fast as you think it's happening. By now, more than 2 hours have gone by. We're trying to figure this stuff
Okay.
out. Okay, interesting. But before we go on with you, you're trying to figure something out. Saban, what are you doing during this other 30 minutes during which Rika goes Sherlock Holmes and goes like, water, stream, door? What are you doing?
Well, looking at all that, how exactly is it in the painting? Like there is the fountain, the river, and the deity. How is
Painting
the
is a bit
river?
of a strong word, but go on, yes?
Yeah. How does
It's
the
more like
river?
caveman paintings, really, if you can imagine that.
Well, it has the word painting in it, does it not?
Fair enough. Go on.
Yeah. The stream and the fountain. How are they connected in the painting?
They're not. Wait, stream and fountain.
The river and the fountain. Are they connected in any way, or
Um,
how are they elevated? Is one of them above the other or below the one?
actually, they're no. This is all one piece. The stream fountain thing, and it's more of a. It looks like a stream, or kind of like a fountain. It's kind of up to interpretation. You're not completely certain because the drawing is as rough as it is,
Yeah, but
but it is
does
a
the
single piece.
stream connect to the fountain or is it a waterfall? What is the stream?
Well, it looks kind of like water going down or up. Like it could be either fountain spraying water upwards or it could be water falling down. You're not quite sure. It's either or, but it's in no way connected. It's not stream going into fountain. It's either a stream or fountain. You're not quite sure how it
Ah,
is.
so it's one of them. All right. And then is the deity doing anything in it?
No, she's basically, she's just looking very much like a deity. She is just sort of, somewhat middle-ish top-esque placed, with all these features on her and her hands sort of like sideways.
Hmm.
She isn't doing anything particular. She isn't really interacting with any of the other visual elements or anything in the cave, as
All
far
right.
as you can tell.
I will ask Irene if she knows of if the Tser has any. What is the origin of that name? The Tser Pool and the Tser Falls.
Oh, I don't really know. Do you think it has something to do with this?
And a lot of things get named after a lot of things, either animal or deities, for an example.
Hmm.
And here we see what could be a waterfall. And last I remember, we were somewhere close to Tierra Falls, so we could be close to the waterfall, which could be named after a goddess or deity called
I'm going to
Tierra.
stop you right there because just by saying that, Rika, you spotted on the wall the word tear in Elven script.
Tear.
Yes. The same as in Tearfall and um, the other thing that I forgot.
Yeah,
Tser, sorry, that's how you pronounce it, I think.
yeah, Tierra.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, Tierra is how it's
You find
pronounced.
it there in Elven script. Okay, but back to what you discovered. You can also relate this if you want to. Right, okay.
I mean, I am speaking all this out loud, so.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying to Rika, like, so Rika, with your Arcana, you notice now you're starting to make more sense of this. This is some sort of not just a place of worship, although it seems more like this has been made into a place of worship rather than it was originally designed to be.
Hmm.
This is some sort of other place. This is the entrance to somewhere. And as you move through the script, you're still not completely able to really figure out what it says, but you have a better idea now of what it's trying to go for. You think it is some sort of description or instruction manual. No, you're not completely sure yet, but it has something to do. But as you look through it, you notice that something needs to be done here. Like there's something that needs to be done to activate this place, to go through it. This is the entrance to a real place of worship, a shrine or a temple. You're not quite sure what it is, but this isn't an actual place of worship, but rather the entrance to one. Presumably that god right there. There appears to be some sort of code word that must be spoken to activate it, but you do not know what it is. The name Sir definitely pops up quite a few times. You start to get the idea that perhaps that is the name of the deity in question. Other than that, you also figure out that there appears to be, like, the thing itself, you still don't get the exact thing of what it's trying to say, but you try to get a general idea or general context of what it's trying to say. You get the idea that the water somehow has to do with a blessing of sorts. Like it is somehow connected to the deity itself. Like it is blessed water in some way, or it is in other way good or related to a deity. And the goat is somehow related to animals. The deity also has something to do with animals. But that's about it. You feel like you understand roughly what you need to do here is say a word, and then the passage would open to the shrine or the place of worship for this deity. But what you also notice, as an arcane student, is that this place. Well, first of all, you notice that this isn't just straight up writing, there is magic in here. Magic to, first of all, connect that somebody is saying the word, magic to actually get the door open, if you can call it a door. Even the writing, in part, is magical. But what you also notice is that it is really, really, really old magic. Almost ancient. Like, you can barely even tell it's magic just because of how well it has lived itself in here. Like, most magical stuff sort of fades over long terms of time, and this one is barely even recognizable. But the fact that it's still here must mean that it is quite potent, quite powerful in a way. However, you also feel that this is in no way perhaps there's nothing stating anything about sacrifices or even what the place you're currently in really is other than an entrance. You get more the expression that whoever did all the thing with the meat and the candles didn't really come to a conclusion that you didn't really get what this whole place is, and just was like, this must be worshipped.
Kind of words.
It could be any word. In fact, you get the idea that it could even be a word that's in a completely different language, a language you don't know. In any way, it is going to be probably quite impossible to figure it out without either translating and getting some sort of hint out of this wall, or just trying to find someone who knows. You're probably not going to be able to guess this.
Okay, but it shares the script. Does it share the kind of? Does it seem to share the kind of grammatical setup of Elvish?
No, grammatical, not really. Script,
Okay.
in the same sense of lettering, this is also how you can recognize things like names, like it's said. But words are completely different.
No, doesn't matter. Like, does it seem like the like how the words are placed? Sure, I don't understand them.
If it makes sense in the same way that you would, build up a sentence in Elvish.
Yes.
So yeah, the grammatical sense. You
I mean,
kind of feel it could make sense, yes? You feel like if you spend enough time somehow writing this down and perhaps encrypting it, you might be able to break it. You might be able to try and figure out what it's trying to say. Like this isn't like English Chinese. It's more like English German.
Okay.
I mean, it's a wall. How much writing can that be? You can just say it all out loud. Something's bound to happen eventually.
Well, I don't know how the words are pronounced. There's a difference between pronouncing words and being able to slightly read them.
As you start reading and absolutely butcher this language, suddenly the painting on the life comes alive and goes, "Oi, that's very insensitive." That doesn't happen. Anyway, Saban, now about 3 hours or so have gone by, and you haven't really made much progress. You knocked on a wall, you read some stuff, you're not quite sure what to do. Marine has, at this point, at first she's been walking around a bit, looking at the walls, but at this point she's just sitting there. Also, how long do you torches last, actually? Let's establish that, because that might become...
Yeah, that might be pertinent.
1 hour.
Okay, so at this point you have probably spent 3 torches.
Well, that's about all the torches I have.
Oh,
So
In that
I
case,
don't
I
have any
believe
more
we would-
torches.
I mean, if there were only 3 torches, I would say that it would be wise that we only use them when Saban needs to see.
Yes.
okay, I'm
Put
gonna
one
say
off.
you use then maybe 2, so you can
Well,
still have the third one if you want.
okay.
What do you do? Saban, Irene, you're sitting in darkness, and Riga, you're fine.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Well, we can try reading out loud the wall. Or it is very unlikely to happen, but we can also try and push the entrance though.
Okay, I still have a question. How the hell did we even get here?
Probably carried by the same people that took our stuff.
And where are the other 3? Where's Septimus, or I mean, Remus, and the other 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a bit weird. If Septimus was here, I would have guessed that the hunters must have betrayed us, knocked us out and threw us here.
What? The guides betraying the party? How unheard of. Fine, don't react.
He is not here. No, I worked as a very respectful guide in my life. But if he's not here, that seems unlikely. Also, I wouldn't say that they wouldn't just kill us downright.
I don't know. But what about Remus then? Do you think he also betrayed us? I mean, Septimus. God, I'm confused with that.
No, it seemed Septimus would not.
If Remus isn't here, then would lead me to believe that it wasn't the hunters that got us.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it could have been anything.
Yeah. We were still in wolf territory. It could be that they got attacked again. The thing is, the wolf that we did capture, I did try to track it down, but didn't find that, but I did find a note of kind left by it. saying that it's gonna leave us alone as long as we don't attack its kind. They should leave us alone. So they may not be as murderous as people say.
I mean, we didn't really attack them, they attacked us, right?
Well,
That is
we
true.
did kind of. Yes, but we did kind of chase after them after they deserved to, you know, get out.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, was that wrong? I mean, to be honest, I didn't pay much attention there. They did attack us. I'm not sure.
I mean, I would say it was in self-defense. Seeing how they
I mean, Saban,
attacked us.
remember, you don't really know what happened after you got knocked down.
Yeah, I am basing this on what Saban does know.
Okay, good. Rika, you're the only one who knows the truth.
I mean, Rika did say
Actually,
out
you
loud, all
don't!
that they chased.
Actually, you don't! None of you know!
Yeah, well, maybe Irene if she was briefed in.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. Irene knows, and I think she's going to tell you now. Actually, after you got knocked out, and Rika, you too, Septimus and the other big guy, they managed to catch up to the wolves and killed them. Well, one of them
Oh,
anyway. The other got away, but they still, hurt it quite a bit. The big guy chopped its head off and gave it to Septimus. He seemed quite pleased.
So we're currently trapped, and the last thing that happened is that we're the only ones that went directly killing a werewolf. And now we're the only ones that have been captured and thrown in somewhere.
Wait, you're saying that we're here because none of us have killed a werewolf?
possibly.
I can't know it for sure, but could be it.
Huh.
We
So,
were hurting them, but we didn't kill them, so maybe they figured this was enough for that.
so is that good then? What? So then they
I
just
mean, bad
left
like
us in a
means
cave?
that, yeah, and it might mean that Remus and our guides are both dead.
Oh no.
Well, if they go for blood, eye for eye system, then one of them is dead.
I mean, the other two did claim they are werewolf hunters, so presumably they killed more than just one at some point.
It's true, but
I guess the wolves wouldn't know that, would they?
Depends.
depends. There's also the fact that they it depends on the werewolves if they consider every werewolf to be part of their packs or families or not. Family feud is much more serious than just having someone of your like being killed.
So what do we do then? Are they planning on having a staff here? Is that why they didn't kill us?
No, I don't think that's what they're doing. I honestly think that they just have this. They may just have this place and don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But seeing as the offering's maybe a week old, I wouldn't doubt that they still use this as some kind of place of worship, even though it's not really. It's
Also,
kind of
if the offering is a week old, the offering may not be from them if they just moved in here after that.
true.
They have been on the move a lot thanks to the hunters chasing them down.
True. But there's also being the front chamber to an actual place of worship. It isn't really it isn't an actual place of worship.
Huh.
If you really know about it.
Is that a big deal?
I don't know. I don't know the god.
I mean, to be honest, I only knew of two gods. That is neither of them.
Yeah,
What
well,
about the gods you know?
Well, the Morning Lord and the... Shit, what's the other one? Night Queen? No, Lady of the Night? I'm gonna go with Lady of the Night, there we go.
Yeah,
I would have guessed
well,
with the League of Mania that seems to be going. I would have expected the new god would be strong. So what are the gods like?
Um, well, to be honest, they're not very active, I guess. Well, most of us pray to the Morning Lord because, we kind of hope that the sun will come back eventually. He's sort of like
Hmm.
the holy guy for most stuff. Lady of Night is more like, night stuff and sort of death related. You still sometimes pray to her, but nowadays most people want to pray for hope and stuff, so most people pray for that. In Barovia, for example, our church was we mostly prayed in it for the Morning Lord.
Hmm.
well, there's quite a few more gods that are being worshipped outside of Barovia.
Hmm.
You can expect that choose to be one of those.
Is that one of them?
yeah, I don't know. I know a few of the major deities, but it wasn't my field of worship, my field of study. So it's only the ones I remember.
Yeah. Has Saban ever heard of a deity named Zer?
Uh, not gonna make you roll for that. No, you have not.
Hmm.
This is this
Highly
is
doubt so.
yeah.
Hmm.
Come to think of it, does that mean that the lake and the waterfall are named after that? That must
Maybe.
mean that at least somebody at some point knew who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, they named it after themselves.
After what?
Well, the name Sarah is used quite a bit in here.
Yeah. Well, theoretically, they could have also written all that themselves as well.
Well,
Now, Rika, you know that this is really ancient. Nothing of that isn't someone added, or like if somebody were to add something there, it would stand out, like really stand out.
yeah, no, this is too old to be someone put their name in it.
No, I mean someone really old put their name in there.
Well, maybe.
People don't change that much with
I mean,
time.
this is like graffiti.
No, I don't think so.
Not a graffiti, but it may be a former. I mean, you did
But I
say
mean, if it's used 47 times or more, I don't know
still
if it's
doesn't
exactly
mean.
graffiti with one's name.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's graffiti, but
I
maybe
would say all this is a
Barovia.
bit too elaborate to just be some kind of practical joke.
Yeah, I'm not talking practical jokes, but you look at Barovia and you look at how the Count has been treating us and how there's Ravenlord and everything, would you really put it past them that there would be one guy who would write their name on the wall 47 times thousands of years ago?
You know what? I just had a thought. Rika, you rolled a 19, which was pretty good, so I want to give you one more hint towards what that word might be. Um, from the text, you get the idea that the word that is looked for is the title of what the deity is responsible for.
What goats?
So to
Maybe
unlock
with
it,
a hint.
somebody would need to
Harvest
say "Sir"
deity.
and then what she's responsible for.
In that language?
No, not in that
Yeah.
language. It
Okay,
appears to
okay.
be completely no matter what language.
Oh,
It
okay.
transcends language. It's the meaning behind.
Oh,
So a fountain
I
and a
thought you had
goat,
to say it in the same word.
some kind of harvest goddess. Sarah, the goddess of the goddess of the harvest.
Tear
Sarah,
of harvest. Kind of doubt that. Hmm.
Sarah, goddess of the land.
So goddess of water?
Well, I think it's more than water. There's a goat.
Goddess of...
Life?
What are goats related to? Why a goat specifically?
Well, they're stubborn, they produce milk and meat. Very useful.
We
And
already have
very good
farming.
climbers. And it's a waterfall. It's air of nature.
It's a bit general, isn't it? If it'd be nature, it could be any animal, but it's a goat. That seems so oddly specific.
I'm
She
going to
does
look at
have
the pic.
antlers, right?
Yeah, she does have antlers. Goddess of the forest. Sarah, goddess of the forest.
Goddess of elves? No.
Goddess of the falls.
The what?
Goddess of the falls.
Hmm.
We don't know what was here 1,000 years ago.
Good point. So the only thing we have to go off on are these pictures then, right? Isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Then again, the lake and the falls are named after her, so maybe this has to be somehow relevant.
Yeah. How was the goat and the waterfall depicted in the painting, Riku? How was the waterfall and the goat in the cave painting? The torches out, I can't see it anymore.
Oh, good point. Sorry, what was the question again?
How was the goat and the waterfall in the painting? Like, the deity was there just kind of standing around, and there was a river or a waterfall.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to say, and then there was the goat. But if it was all one picture, so were they?
They're positioning towards each other, you
Yeah,
mean?
positioning towards each other.
Well, the text goes somewhat all over the bank, and the pictures are somewhat integrated, or the words go around the pictures in a way. The goddess is middle-ish, somewhat on the top. The water is down left, while the goat is down right. So these two things, middle up, is the thing. Sort of like a triangle.
Sarah, goddess of fountains and goats.
I feel like we're on the right track.
It's very literal. Sarah,
Yeah, it could be
goddess
very
of
literal, or then it would be something non-literal, which would be Cher of Trinity or something like that.
Said triangles?
Sarah, goddess of water.
God, it's kind of cold here.
I mean, I'd start a fire, but I don't know how much oxygen was there. Well, actually, it's been a few hours. We should have plenty of oxygen. So oxygen still gets in.